Let's go! Yo, what is up boys? My name is Very Mike. I'm a 6K PR player and I just qualified for Division 1 again. But this time is actually very special because not only did we qualify, we were on pace to qualify the 2 tournaments leading up to this tournament, where we placed top 100 twice. So I think that right now I'm actually at the skill level where I could consistently qualify if I want to. And that's because we have a very consistent strategy and my IGLing is actually better than ever before. I know my name is Fragger Mike, but I'm actually the IGL. And today I want to share my thought process behind these games and behind winning these games, because we're getting top 2s very consistently. Now without further ado, let's get into this video. This was actually one of the most perfect games I've ever played, pretty sure. Now, as always, we're trying to force our way center of 4th zone. Once again, like, this is a consistent strategy of ours. Boob strat, staying in the center of 4th zone and preferably 5th zone, 6th zone, whatever zone it is. Like going in deeper instead of just staying on the edge, right? Because let's say you are at this congested side right here, for example, or anywhere at edge. Then zone pulls max. Then all of these kids are gonna box up on edge once again, because you can't really rotate any further than that, because you rotate in so late. And then you basically have to do the same thing if zone pulls far. And then like in a couple pulls, you might just be full scuffed, you know, like you lost so much mats and heals on those rotates, because you're just at a bad position. Right here, once again, pulls this way, we're not staying on edge. If we stay on edge right here, all of these players, like 50 players, there's like 70 players alive, they're all gonna stay at this side right here. If we do that, we're just screwed for the game. So we just go in as deep as possible, and once again doing kind of the boob strat. Now, we don't have to force our way here. I said, okay, this is a fine spot because we can refarm, so we're chilling. So now, 5 seconds, we need to get ready for zone pull. Greeting a little bit, but it's fine. Now zone pulls here. You see all of these kids, this is exactly what I mean. If I was one of these kids, I would not have qualified. Like, it's that simple, literally. If I was one of these kids that just like had bad rotates in 3rd zone, 4th zone, 5th zone, and 6th zone, you know, I wouldn't have qualified, because there's gonna be some kids that are so scuffed because they're so close to everyone else that they just keep getting beaten and stuff, you know? We kind of mess up the shockwave here, so we shockwave once again. And now we get in deep, and we don't stay on edge once again. We go in as deep as possible. I tell Roker, we're probably just going above this team, layers up, just as Overhela taught us. And now we're 123, 135 builds. Like, insane mats right here, you know? Like, and we're so chilling and so stacked. We haven't even wasted any of our heals, maybe 40 choke, and that's it. Now looking back for some potential surge, because you know the lobby is pretty stacked. Now once again, like we're thinking about the zone pool, okay? So like zone is not gonna pool towards water, probably, less likely. So it's either gonna pool like full towards congested or maybe like towards this side right here. So I'm scouting the rotate for a pretty long time. I'm thinking about the rotate. So I'm seeing this already, and I'm thinking, okay, you know, like I see all of this. Let's say we go in the middle right there, we're just gonna get lobbied. If we try to go over the top of the builds, like kids are still gonna try to grief us, and we cannot do it in one shockwave. So like we're gonna get beamed on this rotate a lot if we do that. So I'm thinking, okay, if it pulls anywhere this way, we're not gonna go insta. Typically you don't want to go insta if it pulls back towards this whole congested side right here. So that's already one thing. This might actually be one of the best games I've ever played, not gonna lie. Like we've been playing so well, and I'm actually very proud of my IGLing. I never used to be the IGL, but it definitely suits me a lot better than being the fragger, not gonna lie. Like I'm so smart, you know, like I'm just the big brain. Roker has all of the mechanics and the fighting skills. It's just the perfect chemistry right there. And it did pull this way, so I was like, yeah, Roker, I'm explaining the rotate right now. I kind of want some of these kids to be focused on other kids, and I want them to be focused on rotating in. So I'm telling Roker, we're gonna go to a spot close to this late, and we're gonna box up insta and shockwave again. I think maybe Roker didn't fully realize we were boxing up insta. I think he wanted to rotate past this, which was my initial thought, you know, like rotating past. But I was like, if we do that, we might just get bumped like a little bit extra. So why not just box up right here and then double shockwave once again? I mean, shockwaving as a duo, so that's exactly what I'm saying. And we just shockwave once again, so we go in deep. So we're using 2 shockwaves. Now there's actually a very unfortunate thing that happened here. I somehow hit like an emoji type thing, not an emoji, but like some sort of sign that I need heals or something. And I was stuck in that screen for a little bit, so I'm like doing nothing. But Roker came quickly to me. Here we should have maybe piece controlled a little bit more, but stay on a high layer, which is pretty important. Like once again, a much better spot to shockwave from. Getting ready for shockwave once again. If it pulls far, does not pull far, so we're chilling. Like if it pulls this way, you know, we are one of the first teams to go there. As you'll see in one of the later games in this video. Heal up a bit. Broker almost got this kill. Now, I decide to pop it big. Now here, I'm pretty sure I'm telling Broker like we should get ready for a pull that pulls this way. Doesn't pull that way. Now we're looking for a kill right here. It's a fine decision. We still have some time since we're center zone. Zone is not really on us, you know. Look for the skill, doesn't work out, that's fine. Now hopefully we stick on a bit of a high layer here. Shockwaving inbox, I told Broker to just sprint. I'm pretty sure I do get bumped a little bit. Yeah, we can hit for 100 once again. Now Broker is full shitting on some other kid right now. Oh, that's how he fell down. I guess I did not see that. Probably shockwaving inbox. Yeah, I told Broker to shockwave inbox. I will just sprint if it pulls far. And here I told Broker we can drop layers. Like in 10 zone, we usually claim low ground. Now, low ground was already claimed, so we go a layer up once again. Broker is super good at following me, by the way. Like, that is actually one of his like top 3 skills. Like if I had to think about Broker's skills, it would probably be fighting skills and then maybe even top 2. Like his second best skill is actually just sticking with me. It's actually such a good skill. Now here, we're looking for the skills. We actually drop one of these kids down. Full piece. Nice, we get the kill. Throw the body back probably. Perfect. Like everything so far is perfect. Now here we'll just shockwave once again. It's kind of crazy how there's 24 players alive in the 11th zone. And we actually end up winning this game. Which, you know, it speaks to how well we played. Sticking on this layer right now, claiming frontside. Like, I like to claim frontside low. I definitely should have dropped like this way. Now that I'm seeing this. I should have dropped this way soon. I really hope that we do. Like, sticking on this layer is fine, maybe. But like, if we have frontside low right here, we're so chilling. So we're actually looking down to claim frontside low. And Broker made a pretty good call that we can spray good first. And then like beam him like this. And then jump it. That's exactly what we do. I try to block it off well, but somehow still another kid jumps in our box. And Broker ends up killing this kid. Now here I'm telling Broker to stick with me. I don't know where he went, but there was like a solo right here. Like, and there was a body in this box. I ended up getting the body, got some mats. Broker took frontside low, which is perfect. And now we just claim low ground. Like, we take low ground quite a lot. Like, almost every game. It's a consistent strategy. Just like staying 4th zone center is a consistent strategy, as you'll see. Now, wrapping around, claim frontside low. This was kind of scuffed, because the kid came from behind. Now, Broker killed this kid from low ground. Get so many kills from low ground here and there. I swear, Broker loves playing low ground so much, and I do as well, you know? I can just tarp, he can just get all the refreshes. Like here I claim frontside low perfectly. Now we can just look above here, get these kills if we want. But we both had to heal, apparently. Yeah, just drop this kid down, kill him. Okay, hide kill him already. Now, we're in a 2v2 situation and we already agreed upon a strategy. We would just spray above first to waste high ground's mats. And then we would just shockwave up or fight them. Because hide right here, if they're in final zone, they're not going to have that many builds. Like 8 builds and 8 builds. So they both have 8 builds. But if we spray them a little bit, like we'll grieve their builds. You see, now we have 0 builds. And that's already like a pretty big thing. Like if this guy can't build, it's so much easier to fight, you know? We also have low builds, but if Hyde doesn't have builds either, we're much more chilling. So we both shockwave up. Somehow this kid one pumps Roker, but I'm pretty sure I clutch up. I get the skill, make sure to hit a headshot right there. This kid sprays me a bit, and I get the finish, and I won the game. Yo boys, if you appreciate the fact that I'm recording these videos while it's like 40 fucking degrees out here, then make sure to like, subscribe, and comment WVODs. I would really appreciate it. Now back with the video. Okay, so the first step to winning any game is just having a solid early game strategy. Now we are landing in tunnels. I'm not gonna share what strategy we have and everything we do, because then, you know, like you guys can just copy it, and I don't really want that. I don't know how it's going to look like in Div 1, but I'm still going to use this strategy. You just have to come up with a game plan of your own so that you can get stacked into the mid game like this. Like we are absolutely stacked, so chilling, and it's only like 7 minutes into the game, right? Now, since this is first game, the games are usually a lot more stacked in Division 2, and especially in this tournament as well, because this was kind of the last chance to qualify for play-ins. So we're just sitting on the Surge base right here, to look for some Surge, because there's 77 players up, and it's already third zone. Typically in a less stacked game, we would just be somewhere, you know, in dead side, maybe camping a building or a bush. But right here, we're in a chilling position, trying to get some tags. Surge bases were a lot more common back in the day in trios and that kind of stuff, but it's still very effective. Now, a very important thing is I like to force center of fourth zone as much as possible. So you'll probably see us shockwave pretty quick after this. Okay, maybe we're still looking for some surge, which is also a possibility. Okay, now we're about to go. Perfect. And now we will just try to not stay on this edge right here, because a lot of people, they will just go from edge to next edge to next edge. And that is actually one of the major things that is holding them back in these zones. And it's gonna make them burn through a lot more heals and mats than necessary. So we're trying to get into a better position. I marked this right here. Building a bit for my teammate so he doesn't get beamed. And now I just build a bit of a base. We are not full center, which I prefer, but we're like, there's already a team in front. There was a team to the left and to the right. I don't think it's worth to go any more than this. So I'm just sitting here chilling, refarming if possible. Now I noticed there were a couple of things that I forgot to mention. First of all, the ramps, the metal ramps I placed towards this team so that we don't get sprayed through it. Nowadays we have a lot of broken SMGs. This team has only one stinger, but these SMGs are so broken and they can easily bleed damage through the walls. And since we don't want to lose Surge, those metal ramps are there to protect us, which is really good. Now one more thing you'll probably see right here is like I'm scouting the rotate for a very long time. I've already scouted the rotate like 1 minute before zone even pulls. Like I'm very good at like, you know, thinking about the rotate. That is something a lot of IGLs don't really do, you know. Like that's why you're not qualifying, because you just don't plan out the rotate. And I've already like, you see how I'm looking at some other stuff here every now and then. I'm maybe looking to spray some kits, but I know what to do already. So we're already prepared for a far pool. And one important thing I wanted to tell you right now, that's why I went back and record this, is the fact that there's a team in front now. And you'll probably have a situation like this in some of your games, where this team needs to go before you do. And if this is a good team, they'll probably go insta as soon as zone pools. If it's a bad team, they might not do that and they might stay. If that happens, they have to go anyways. That's what I wanted to tell you. Like, you have to make an early rotate. Rotating early is one of the most consistent things we do, and a big reason behind our success. This team, you see, like they rotated insta, which is exactly the correct play they should have done. And now we're just going behind them. So instead of having them behind us, while they could, or maybe going at the same timing, because then they can just pump us on the rotate. We do not want to get pumped on the rotate. We would rather get a pump off on them. As you saw right there, I got beamed. I made a mistake, which is not good. But since we are making as few mistakes as possible, it's not the end of the world, you know? Like, it is pretty bad. I should not have overpeaked right there, but I'm still like relatively stacked. My teammate is super stacked. We only lost like 100 Surge, 120. But we got so much Surge from the Surge base, so it doesn't really matter. We built like a buffer, if you know what that means. Building a buffer is actually pretty important, because a lot of people, they will just hope that they don't get tagged on the rotates, but that usually happens. You see, Roker gets beamed on this rotate as well, but because we got so much Surge early on, it doesn't matter too much, you know? Otherwise, we probably would have been below on Surge right now, and we could have just lost this game, and lost like 20 minutes of our time of the tournament as well. Dying to Surge is one of the worst things you can die to. Now, one thing I learned from over Halo is that we want to have a good position to shockwave from. So we're at this low layer right here, and if zone pulls far this way, maximum distance we can go with a shockwave is just to this mountain right here. And then we probably have to shockwave again or something. Ideally, we're up on this mountain, so we have a free rotate in case zone pulls far. And that's exactly what we do right here. We shockwave, go uphill, and now we build metal, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, perfect. Oh, I built brick, which is pretty bad. Yeah, nice. So we're at a much better position to shockwave from. Now, looking back to get some more surge, 150 above, which is okay. I think we got some surge on that as well. Yeah. Now we're 300 above, 400 above, chilling. Now, a very important thing is that you get ready for zone pull before zone even pulls. So what I typically do is, I'm at this side of zone, and it's also the congested side. So anywhere it pulls towards me, I'm not gonna go insta. Because if I go insta towards this location, for example, all of these skids are still gonna be boxed up, and they're just gonna focus the team that is, you know, in freshly built walls, and that is moving, that is still rotating. So you're just gonna get lobbied that way. But if it pulls anywhere this way, towards the dead side, I want to go early. So we're getting ready for that. We might have to solo shockwave on the rotate, by the way, if it pulls far, because we'll shockwave to this point and then have to shockwave again to get the front side. But now we pull zone, so we're just chilling. A lot of players, they mess up on these types of zones. Like they'll wait too long and that kind of stuff. Go at the same timing as everyone else. That's why they get pumped in the back. They lose their mats and their shields. If you're in Div 4 or 5, you can be a lot more aggressive in these zones. But typically for me personally in Div 2, I want to be as passive as possible in like 6th zone, 7th zone, even 8th zone and 9th zone. So first moving, second moving, I want to be as passive as possible usually. And get refreshes after that. It seems so chaotic every time we go for refreshes. Like let's say we go for a pre-edit in this zone, which is actually a fine moment to do so. We get pre-edited back in our back or something, so much so like it's not even worth it a lot of the times. So typically I just rotate in these couple zones, be ultra passive, and we'll just get the kills later on. So here was actually a moment I would like to have gone early, but I didn't. I'm not sure why, but we're just trying to not make any mistakes. And now we go kind of at the same timing as some other kids. Broker wanted to go for that, but you see like everyone is just jumping in there. Like it was already a mistake. We need to focus on the rotate, and that's it. Because this is super scuffed, you know? All he has to do is rotate, and I'm probably communicating that with him as well. Like I'm going deep, come with me, stay with me. Now we go on a high layer. This is one more thing I learned from Over Halo. Instead of just building a box on low ground right here, which I probably would have done before VOD reviewing with him, we just built one layer up, which is apparently much less likely to get pre-edited on. So we do that pretty standard nowadays. I think here, for example, is already a mistake I've made. We go for a pre-edit because I saw there's a solo right here, but we do it so late that we would rather, you know, go insta if it pulls anywhere far. We're trying to get kills on zone swap, and that is usually not what you want to do. So we go for a pre-edit here. It doesn't work out, the solo escapes, and now we waste the time. And zone did in fact pull towards where nobody is. It pulled towards the congested side. The dead side, my bad. So we would have liked to go early here. We didn't, which is a mistake. Now we go relatively early. Now we're front side. Nice. So we're front side before zone even starts moving, you know? And now I'm trying to go up layers because that's what I, you know, learned from Over Halo. Now this team full choppy though, so they actually got some surge on us, pretty sure, like a little bit. It was a little scuffed, yeah, Roker got lobbied as well. So here is already a couple things that got scuffed from this point. Not too great. You don't have to be so scared of being low mats. As long as you're high HP, just heal up. You should be able to get a refresh pretty easily, you know? So soon we'll go front side. I'm pretty sure it was me this time, you know, Frag and Mike getting the frags. Yeah, just piece this player up, shit on him, expanding insta, dark towards zone, perfect, so I got a refresh there. Roker just got the body, that's refresh number 1, and if I remember correctly, we just got gifted with another refresher. And sometimes this will happen to you, so there's another kid. This kid was not too stacked, he only had like siphon mats, and I'm not sure if the choke was any good. 110 choke, not too bad. Now we just gotta make our way frontside once again. We have 66 and 60 builds. There's 120 builds. We can just go frontside and then look for some kills if we want. No need to look for kills when we're backside. No need to look for kills on the rotate as well. That's only gonna make us more scuffed. On a high layer, because Over Halo taught us, because because Ova Halo taught us, you know, not to stay as low layers in 9th zone. Typically, if you want to go for low ground, you do it in like 10th zone, 11th zone. So far playing perfectly, basically. Like, we're making mistakes, and we're, you know, like wasting a bit of mats and heals here and there. But we're surviving. Like, it's a very stacked game, and at least we're not dying, you know? Which is one of the most important things. Now here, making a pretty scuffed rotate, but we went frontside low here. I am definitely a low ground team with Roker right now. I don't know why, we like low ground very much. We seem to get many kills from it. Almost got that kill. Now Zone is about to pull through all of the old builds right here. There's actually a pretty important lesson right here, because if it pulls through all builds, you gotta be aware of the fact that some kid might have the edits. Like this guy is just sitting in the starp, and this is his wall. So I'm trying to block that angle off so we don't get pumped in the face or something. I'm still trying to piece control through all tarps, even though we have low builds. I'm not just like relying on the fact that these builds are, you know, safe. Nah, they're not safe. Like, these are enemy builds, and they could just have all of the edits there. Sticking frontside right here, sticking frontside low. We almost have no builds, but like, we survived till 3rd moving. And if I want to coach you, if you're in Division 2 and I would coach you, all I would say is get the 3rd moving and then just get some kills. That's basically it. No need to look for any kills earlier. Like, we have 3 kills right now, very passive game. But typically, like, in 3rd moving, you know, there's gonna be a bunch of free kills. And if you're low ground right here, you're chilling. Now, spraying off the other team on low ground, very important. Now, we have almost no builds, but we're chilling on this low ground right here. By the way, if it did not pull back through all of these old builds, we would get a lot more refreshes. So, like, we would get a lot more kills and have more mats to tarp with. But now it's kind of equaled out because we don't really have to tarp because there are so many old builds and we can just, like, go through it, basically. Now, I'm pretty sure I shit on this kid, claimed the wall, claimed the piece. So the refresh, 44 builds. A bit more than Siphon mats, which is good. I think Roker might get another kill here. Gets another Siphon mats. You see, like, these Siphon mats here and there, they're enough to tarp out the rest of the endgame, basically. Here, once again, spraying from low ground. Here we didn't see that player right there. Just get all of the mats, nice. 30 builds once again. Roker takes over tarp a bit. It's a pretty good shockwave play for me, boosts me all the way to front side. Now here we had a bit of miscommunication. I said there's a kid healing above us right here, but I still had to reload my AR first. And then he thought it was this spot, so he's spraying above here, and we still get a refresh, so chilling. And I'm pretty sure we also killed this other kid on low ground right here. Here we actually do a pretty good thing, like Roker sprays this wall and I just pre-fire the shot. Crazy teamwork. Now, I'm the one that's usually like going frontside and making our way frontside. Roker should have definitely just picked up the mats. Since I realized he didn't, I'm like, oh shit. Okay, let me get it. And it turned out he had like 800 builds. So this is like a crazy refresh. Definitely worth for me to pick up. That's why Roker has to pick up every single refresh that he gets. I'm supposed to drop him some mats here. Yeah. So I split mats. We could have maybe won this game, but you know, 2nd place is good enough. We already got like 60 points. And getting like a very big game in the first hour of the tournament is actually so important. Like, if your first hour goes extremely well, first hour in Div 2 is the most difficult hour. Like, in the last few hours of the cup, like, it gets like increasingly less difficult. It's just like a little bit less difficult. But like right now, it's just like super stacked. There's surge lobbies and everything. I go up for height. I think Roker kind of messed up here. I'm not sure what happened. He just missed one shot. It's a GG. I end up killing this player, the Storm, but then I died to Storm as well. And it's a GG. Now, the thing I said earlier about having a very good start of the cup is important because there is no elo in Division 2. So even though you have like a lot of points at the start of the cup, you're not gonna like face any better players. So it's not like gonna make your lobbies after that any, you know, more difficult. So if you have a good start, you know, there's no reason to have a good finish as well. The early game in this game, as you can see, fine, you know, like 3 chug-chugs right now, we're chilling. Even if you do something else, like this team, for example, they're also completely stacked. You don't have to like copy any of it. Don't copy my strategy, you know? Like there's no reason to do that. Like if everyone does the same strategy, of course, it's gonna be worse because it just gets too contested. Now, as you can see in this game, we do make it the center of 4th zone perfectly. Like we're ultimate center basically. And also on a pretty high layer, perfect position to shockwave from. Now, if you've seen my video before from like last season, pretty sure when I qualified Division 1, we did a strategy called the Boop strat. We go from center zone, center 4th zone to center of 5th zone as well. So we try to go in deeper. Here we've got a messed up shockwave, so solo shockwave, fine. We had so many, you know, like we still have 9 left going into endgame. Now once again, just going on a high layer here as much as possible. Center of 5th zone. We even greeded to go even higher than this. And we're actually in one of the best positions on the map right now. If it pulls anywhere towards this way, you see this? This is like 60% of the zone. If it pulls anywhere there, we have the freest rotate ever because nobody is there to shoot us on the rotate. If it pulls back to congested side right here, we can still shockwave off and probably make it in one body hop. So this is actually one of the best positions on the map. Probably a big reason why we do so well in this game as well, you know? Now, I don't even remember where it pulls, and it doesn't even matter where it pulls. If it pulls far, we're chilling. If it pulls all the way to congested side, we're chilling. We just shockwave insta, and we're full ready to do that as well. I'm pretty sure I even told Roker we're preparing for the worst case scenario, and then if it pulls towards like a good side for us, we can just turn around and just do it again. Yeah, you see, like I'm looking towards this way, ready to edit out this way, because you know, like I'm thinking, okay, if it pulls there, it's the worst case scenario, but we can go insta and we're chilling, and that actually happens. I'm pretty good at predicting zone pools. Roker knows that. Like we always somehow look at the right side of zone when we're about to shockwave. I wanted to go up on the hill. I thought I could stay somewhere here. Roker went to the other side, and I was like, yeah, actually that's a fine position. So solo shockwaved. No need to be greedy. Now there was a kid in Storm that awareness checked Roker. But we're fine here. And we're still super chilling. Now as I said, just like in the other game, right? Like we make one small mistake, we get hit for 100. But we're so stacked out of the early game, we barely make any mistakes throughout the mid game. So then, you know, like if you get hit 100 here and there, it's not the end of the world, you know? Especially in a game with 43 alive, not too stacked, no surge. We don't really need anything, but if you see something free, I'm not even looking for a kill right now, by the way. I'm opening the position. I'm opening front side. I'm spraying ahead of me, breaking anything that I can. Here I actually made a pretty good call. I said this team right here, they're supposed to go insta if zone pulls far here, because they have priority. It would be kind of stupid if this team doesn't go insta, then they're just like a bad player. And sometimes that happens. So this team right here, they're not going insta, but I do want to go insta. So I kind of wanted that team to go ahead of us. But now I'm thinking, okay, you know, like, just go anyways. Now they go like 5 seconds too late. So we're kind of going on the same timing. Now we just double shockwave, like we don't have to like waste any shockwaves, just go together. Now I don't want to wait too late, so we shockwave kind of instantly. And now look at the position we're at. We're basically, you know, like, you know, as close to center as possible in this zone, you know, like everyone is just gonna box up on edge soon, and then we probably have a pretty easy rotate if it pulls far. Box up middle, pretty important in this zone as well. Now we have 84 builds, 95 builds, being passive in these zones, important. It's actually a very consistent thing we do nowadays. We don't like to go for anything in these zones. Especially right now, we're on a low layer. People can pre-edit us in the back, which has happened a lot in previous tournaments. Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go. I told Roker stay on a high layer. Once again, 8th zone, 9th zone. We're gonna stick on high layers. He's in my box, chilling. Now here, we're bitching this team off, you know, like, okay, that's actually a mistake. Probably got bumped there, yeah, okay, kept spraying. Yeah, so you either pressure your team off your layer, so you have the layer for yourself, or you have to switch layers, and that's what I decided to do here. I switch layers, heal up, we're chilling. It goes back into our old boxes. We go here, looking for a kill. I find a kill. 65 builds, you know, siphon mats, not too bad. Once again, this is 9th zone. We have 64 builds and 73 builds. We just have to make it to 3rd moving, 10th zone. Going high layer still, once again, 9 zone. Don't have to drop low ground yet. I'm just starting since we're kind of front side. I'm just making it third moving. I know we have a decent amount of hearts still, so. As Roker for mats, now 500 metal, chilling. Now here we're not fully in. I should have probably gotten us in a bit sooner. Maybe a mistake by me. I told Roker now we're just gonna storm play a little bit. Storm play, got this team on low ground off. Gotta block Roker right there. Now it pulls up a hill. Told Roker just pop Chug Chug and we'll storm play once again. Waiting for Roker. Now we just claim front side. And now we're in third moving. And you know, like we survived till this point. We still have like some mats. And now we can just start to pop off once again. We start to look for some kills. Let me see Roker. He's looking for some kills already. Yeah, nice. Got the body. Now some team front side. Good awareness by Roker at least. Yeah, he could have gone back and, you know, like out. He could have thought like dart this way much quicker, just gone this way. Like there's so much space right here. We'll probably do that soon. Yeah. Okay, he does it now. It's fine then. Pool styles as well. Claiming low ground, chilling. Get another kill, because all of these kids just have nothing, you know, in the final few zones. And then we get the Cypher mats every single time. Like, you see how we're passive in this game, and still Roker has like 7 kills, somehow, you know? Oh yeah, I guess I made a mistake. This kid dropped on my head as well. And yeah, okay, I could have just built. I don't know why I'm not built. I could have tarped a little bit more there. I guess this was a second place solo clutch from Roker because I messed up right there. Oh yeah, I remember Roker got so mad when he lost this. Because it's like a 1v1v1 right now. And he kind of wasted some mats here and there. And then this shit skipped shockwaves up. And I think instead of fighting each other, they actually decide to like go for hype and stuff, and it's a GG. Yo boys, real quick, if you're trying to improve in this game, you might want to check out Fortnite Academy. You will get access to 4 private coaching sessions with me personally every single month. On top of that, we also do sessions with a pro player called Chris. He has about 40 KPR and he qualled grand finals. Then you also get 30 plus hours of previous VOD review sessions, along with a bunch of courses to help you improve in the game. And on top of that, you also get early access to an app I've been working on to help you become more consistent by turning your life into a video game. All of which you can get today for only 10 bucks. If that is something you're interested in, then click the link below this video. Now have a great day boys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.